Hi guys, it's Simply Lemon, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a ruffle dress just like this. I would label this as a intermediate tutorial, not beginner, so you do need some background knowledge in Blender to kind of make this a bit easier on yourself. I do have my hotkeys down below on the right, so let's get started. You're going to start off by importing a woman rig, and then it should look something like this, triangulated. So we're going to make this into quads. So we're going to press Alt J and it will turn it into quads, and then we're going to merge vertices. So M on your keyboard and by distance. It should look something like this. We're going to go into this triangle over here and then press Clear Custom Split Normals to fix our shading problem. Next, I'm going to go into edit mode by pressing Tab. I'm going to zoom into the body, and then I'm just going to add an edge loop right here. So Control R, click, and I'm going to move it up to about right here. Once you do that, I'm going to press 3 on my keyboard to go into face select mode, and then I'm going to Alt, right click on this line, and then I'm going to hold Alt, Shift, right click, and select the rest here. So it should look like this. Once you do that, you're going to press Shift D on your keyboard, click, and that should duplicate the faces you have selected. And then you're going to press S on your keyboard and scale it out. It should look like something like this. Next, you're going to press P on your keyboard and then selection. This will separate the parts. To make this not gray, we are going to select the part we just separated, go down to the circle, and then click the minus on this material. It should make it gray now. Once you do that, you kind of have a top of like your baby doll dress. So next, you're just going to select this, press Tab, press 1 on your keyboard to go into vertex select, and then Alt, right click, and you should have this whole edge loop selected. We're going to press Shift D, click, and then P on your keyboard and separate this selection. Once we do that, we're going to hide the top. So click the top, press H, and that should hide the top. And you should be left with your edge loop you duplicated earlier. So select your edge loop. We're going to go up to Object and Convert to Curve. Now it should look something like this when you go into edit mode. So next, we are going to start by creating the ruffle. So I'm going to press Shift A, add in a cube, and then we're going to go into top view. So the tilde on your keyboard and then top, and then we're going to press 3 on our keyboard to go into face select mode, Z on your keyboard and wireframe. We're going to click on our scene and drag kind of just in the middle here. That's going to select these faces, and we're going to press delete faces. Next, in top view mode, we're going to press Z on our keyboard, go into wireframe still if you're not already. Press 1 on your keyboard, and we're going to select these vertices right here, and we're going to press G and Y, and then just move these in a bit. And then next, we're going to press E, S, X on our keyboard, and we should extrude to something like this. And then we are going to add an array modifier and press merge. And then we're going to add in a subdivision modifier. Once you do that, we're basically just going to be creating the ruffles for the dress. So we're going to select these bottom vertices, and we're just going to be shaping the ruffles to kind of how you want them to be. There's different types of ruffles and different shapes, but you can just follow along and do the ones that I'm doing. So I'm just going to press Control R, add in an edge loop here, Control R, add in an edge loop here. I'm going to select these 2 edge loops and then bring them out, and then select these and bring them in. Like I said, you should have some beginner knowledge for this tutorial. So if you're getting lost, I recommend finding a hotkey tutorial to learn all of these, and then come back to this tutorial when you have learned a bit more about Blender. And then I'm actually just going to select these top ones and scale it in on the y-axis. So this is what my ruffles look like. You can kind of mess around with them when they're on the character. So I'm just going to duplicate this and put it off to the side. You can see all my other ones. Just in case we mess up, we always have a backup version. So to put this kind of on the rig, we're going to select our curve that we converted, we're going to press Object, Set Origin, and Origin to Geometry. That puts the origin in the center here. Then we're going to press Shift S and Cursor to Selected. Then we're going to click your Ruffles, Object, Set Origin, Origin to Geometry. And then Shift S and do Selection to Cursor. And then next, we're going to click on this wrench, Add Modifier, and Curve. Then we're going to click this eyedropper, and we're going to click on our curve. So it should look kind of like this. Our ruffles are facing the wrong way. So while you're having your ruffles selected, press Tab, A, R, Z, 180, and that should fix your issue with your curves. And I'm just going to scale these down a bit and move them down using GZ. And we can up the array modifier with the amount of ruffles we want. And it should look something like this. To get all your items back, press Alt H, and that brings everything back. And we're just gonna lower the ruffles so it's more of a dress. So GZ, and just get the length that you want. You're probably wondering why your ruffles are so close to the body. We're gonna have to fix that when we combine everything. Okay, once you have this all selected, I'm actually just gonna duplicate everything here. So just drag and select, Shift D, and move it over just in case we mess up. What I like to make sure is when I find the end of the array, I kind of make it kind of close here. Also, before we convert everything, we're gonna UV unwrap this so our texture goes on everything. So we're gonna press Tab to go into edit mode, A, U, and then unwrap. And that's all we have to do to make sure our texture goes onto every single ruffle. I almost forgot that, so make sure you do that. It saves you a lot of time. So we are going to apply these. So apply, apply, and apply. And then next we are going to merge these vertices so they aren't separated. So with my ruffles selected, I'm just going to press Shift H. That hides everything around it. And I'm just going to find the vertices that need to be connected. So these two, click them, M at center, and I'm just going to drag this up. And then these two, M center, these two, M center, and then just drag that down. So should look something like that. So next I am going to get rid of this middle edge loop. So Alt right click, X on your keyboard, and then edge loops. And then next thing you're gonna do is select this bottom one. So Alt right click, and then you're just gonna scale out on the Y and the X axis, and it should look something like this. You can make your ruffles smaller or bigger. Like I said, the dress really just depends on the type of ruffles. But yeah, this is honestly just a really basic tutorial. If you want me to do a different version of a dress like this with different styled ruffles, let me know. And to fix things like this that are kind of clipping to the body, you just go into edit mode, right click on a vertice, and then go to proportional editing and just move it back a bit, and or up if it needs to, and that should fix it pretty quickly. But thank you guys for watching this tutorial, and have a nice day.